And we're back. Well, I'm back. My wife could not make it today, so you're stuck with just delicious Artie White. However, I do have a wonderful guest in the studio today. I'll be introducing him in a short period of time. This is Plumbing 101 with Aqua Plumbing here in Las Vegas, not to be confused with the gigantic Aqua Plumbing in Sarasota, Florida. There's a huge Aqua Plumbing in Sarasota, Florida. You pull up Sarasota Aqua Plumbing on a web page, and they've hogged about the top 7 spots. And then here's little old us here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're a family-run, family-oriented, family-generated, family plumbing company here in Las Vegas. Our phone number is 702-642-8400 for any of your plumbing needs. We operate 24 hours a day, 367 days a year. There's 2 added days there, I guess. And then the phone number to call into the studio today live with any plumbing questions you may have is 702-483-4444. That would be 702-483-4444. So again, I'm Delicious Artie White with Aqua Plumbing, and we've been in business here in Las Vegas since 2004. We were a plumbing contractor. Before that, we performed new plumbing only in residential homes, new homes that were being built. And we saw the need with so many houses and buildings springing up all over the Las Vegas Valley that we figured there'd be a lot of need for plumbing service and repair. So we went out and purchased a plethora of vans and downsized our company and became service and repair, Aqua Plumbing Service and Repair. So now we perform remodels and service and repair for homes, businesses, buildings, commercial buildings, restaurants, changing water heaters, faucets, leaks, drain stoppages. We jet clean piping, plumbing lines, drain lines. You name it. If it's plumbing, we do it. One of the things that I'm often asked from people that don't know, aren't aware, the gas piping. When you go turn on your stove in your house, or you enjoy a nice hot shower, and you have gas service to your house, and you pay the wonderful Southwest Gas a bill with your hard-earned money, the plumbing contractor is responsible for the gas piping in and around the home, except for the meter that Southwest Gas puts in and the piping that comes in from under the sidewalk to the meter. That would be Southwest Gas property, on your property, under your property, if you will. And then the plumbing contractor goes ahead and installs the piping throughout the walls in your home or building. And shazam, now you have gas piping, so we can properly heat your water, make your cold water hot, and cook your food. And one of the fun things that we get to do with gas piping certainly is putting gas piping underground in people's backyards so they can have a fire ring or an outdoor kitchen. Those are really cool to have. We can actually take a barbecue that you buy from any big box store and go ahead and assemble it after you're done throwing all the wrenches across the yard, because it's a real pain in the ass putting those together. You can certainly call us. We can convert the propane into natural gas, and we can run piping to that barbecue so that you never have to lug around a heavy bottle anymore. And fortunately, some houses are built with a gas stub sticking out of the back of the house. We can simply connect to that. Cautionary measure, however, don't take a propane barbecue and just simply hook it up to that gas piping coming out of the wall in your house unless you've purchased a natural gas piping barbecue, because they're a different system. They're a different type of gas, and you have to put in what they call a natural gas conversion kit. So we can certainly take care of that. If you're going to go buy a barbecue, make sure that you can purchase, or it already comes as a natural gas barbecue. We'll come out and hook it up, and you will now be able to grill steaks, hot dogs, weenies, hot dog, hamburgers, whatever you'd like on your barbecue without having to buy propane. So that little safety tip for you: if you don't get your natural gas kit, then you could possibly have very large flame, and your steaks will be done very, very quickly, and it's just not a safe thing. You want to have the proper gas to the proper appliance. So the plumbing contractor, in essence, is always the person responsible for the gas piping within the walls of a home. And with me today, I have Mr. Jed Semper from Red Beard Inspections, now listening to our radio show live today. Again, you can call in 483-4444. You can ask Jed any questions you'd like about home inspections, because that's what he specializes in. He is an expert in home inspections. I believe you do commercial building inspections as well, up to
10,000 square feet.
So that's pretty big building. So you can call in here, or when Jed gets going, we're going to have him disseminate his information so you can call him. If you're selling, not selling, buying a home or property, you can certainly call Jed. If you're living there, plan to live there another 10 years, it's not a bad idea to hire Jed to come out and do a professional inspection. They use GoPro devices, which is a camera on his forehead. And whatever he sees, the camera sees, and he can point out things that are deficient with your building or your home. He also will point out the good features as well. You will not know, you will certainly know what is right and wrong with your home or building once Mr. Jed Semper comes out and gives your building a once-over. So again, whether you're selling, buying, or if you plan to keep the house for like 10 or so years and you want to have it looked at so that you can make repairs and such for yourself, which certainly does make sense. I mean, you live in the house for 10 years and you decide to sell it and you're going to have it inspected so that your buyer, someone you don't even know, has peace of mind and you have peace of mind and you're selling a product that is still safe. Why not have it inspected so you can be safe for the next 10 years or however long you plan to keep that structure?
Excellent advice. Excellent advice.
Yeah, it's senseless to just have an inspection when you buy and when you sell. You should have periodic inspections. And with that, I'd like to introduce Jed Semper from Red Beard Inspections. Thank you for coming today.
Hey, I'm proud to be here. I appreciate you inviting me into the studio and looking forward to the show today.
Very good. This show is worldwide, just so you know. There's only 70,000 million people listening, and it's not just nationwide, but it's worldwide, and it's all-net radio, so there's no censorship. You can say anything you want, and you can bag on Hillary Clinton if you want, like I normally do, and it's a good day when we can do that. I put a new sticker on my truck. It says Hillary for Prison 2016. I have people honking at me. It scares the shit out of me. I'm driving down the road, and people honk at me. I'm like, what did I do wrong? And they're gunning past me, thumbs up, and the other thing I think you need to know, Jed, is we are being video recorded as well. However, the people today listening live do not see us. John, very lazy man that works here, he will have the video uploaded and everything usually by end of Saturday, Sunday, and it'll be on YouTube on Monday. All you got to do for you faithful listeners, and I'm sure you know, but if you don't know, all you got to do is pull up Aqua Plumbing on YouTube, and there are going to be, at the end of this month, there will be 26 shows that you can watch on YouTube, and you'll actually be able to see my pretty face that's only good for radio, as well as Jed. And we both
and
just
the red
have
beard. Don't forget about the red beard.
Got to have the red beard. Everybody do this. That's where he got his name. That's
you might
good.
know me when I walk up to the door. So
that's very good. So, Jed, tell me all about Red Beard Inspections. Why did you decide to go into the inspection world?
Well, I've always been intrigued with the real estate industry in general. I actually majored in architectural design as a college student, so I'm looking at the properties with a little bit
That was back
more.
in the 20s.
What 20s? Come on now. You're giving away the age here. So really just, I've always had the interest with it. I had been in Las Vegas for about the last 10 years just doing different types of sales jobs, and I had always wanted to find a way back into the real estate industry. So lucky break, I was able to get into schooling with Key Realty here in Las Vegas, completed my education back in 2012. We started the business in 2013, and we've been doing inspections ever since. So between what we've learned from individuals like yourselves, I'm all about whatever I can do to make sure that the clients know that exact condition of that property so that they're able to make an educated decision as to whether or not they need to move forward with the purchase, maybe need to renegotiate the offer that they had in place initially, or potentially even walk away from the building if issues arise that could potentially be dangerous to them. So
Or costly.
A lot of
people want to buy buildings to make money.
Yep.
That's typically not how housing works, but if I'm going to buy a commercial property, I'm obviously in it for an income base, and if the building's going to cost more than it's worth to repair, is that good?
Well, I wouldn't think so, but that's not my position to say. But these individuals need to understand the conditions of what they're walking into, and these are the largest purchases they're going to make. So that's the information that they need to have in front of them.
So you don't talk dollars and cents with people. You get summoned, phone rings, you answer it. Red Beard Inspections. You are summoned to a project, or not a project, but a building, whether it be a house or a commercial building, and you simply make notes with pictures and video, and then it's on the owner of such structure to contact licensed personnel to come out and say, I've got an inspection report here from a licensed inspector, and I need an estimate on my building. Is that how it works?
Yeah, pretty much, and everybody should be using licensed contractors. Definitely don't want the handyman. We don't want the do-it-yourselfers. We'll identify in every inspection and every inspection report that it needs to be a licensed inspector or a licensed contractor from whatever the issue is, whether it's plumbing, electrical, roofing, any of that. Basically, when somebody sees a home that they want, they're going to walk in. They see pretty paint on the walls. They're imagining where my furniture is going to go in the house, and that's great. But you've seen the property for all of maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and you really need to have an unbiased opinion of the condition of that property.
You walk in the property, oh, I'm in love with it. I like the colors. And I was watching a TV show the other day, and staging, I guess, is become a very big part of selling homes. And
Yes.
and this lady was a slave driver. It was really cool. She would zero in on someone selling their home, and it's obviously empty. Well, empty homes don't seem to bring as much money as I understand. I'd prefer the damn thing be empty. I hate furniture. A couple bean bags, chairs, and a couple of beer koozies and a TV, and I'm good to go. But she would. This is a true story. She would summon her husband and son. They would unload their house, their personal home, take all their furniture over to this house, beds, everything, stage them up, make them the whole works.
Pictures, carpet.
Then she
rugs.
would take. Her brother was a licensed painting contractor. He would fill mason jars with a little bit of paint and cap them, and she had all these in her car, and she would take the lid off the little paint jar and set it in the cabinet, the bathroom cabinet behind the pillar on the cabinet, so you couldn't see it. And so that the room would smell like fresh paint. I mean, this lady had Indian tricks coming out of her ears, and she's a very top-rated real estate person in the real estate industry. I guess this is in California. This isn't in Nevada. I don't remember what TV show. We stumbled across a TV show the other day, and it was DIY or so. I don't remember what it was, but I thought that was brilliant. So then the people roll in and they fall in love with this house, and they smell fresh paint, and then here a week later, 4 days later, whatever, you come rolling in and you're like, smells like chicken.
If I smell fresh paint, I want to know what they painted it for.
That's true. That maybe it's a bad thing that you walk in and smell paint, but I just thought that was phenomenal. So
Interesting.
we're gonna get into the nuts and bolts as the show progresses, and there's no reason to not get started now. So when you walk up to a house, what are just a couple of the things that you look for as we're going to talk about a home right now? What are the couple of the things that you look for in a garage?
Well, from a garage standpoint, we need to make sure that the fire protection's in place, firewall. The garage is a safety protection for the home. So, a lot of people, a big one that we run into a lot is the garage door between the garage and the actual property has been compromised with a doggy door, which is pretty common today, or some type of...
or it's not self-closing door anymore. They pulled the pin out of the hinge.
Correct.
If you, for those of you who are listening, if you've got a big fat hinge, usually the center hinge on your door between the house and the garage, that is the self-closing hinge, and there needs to be a pin in it for it to operate properly.
That's absolutely correct. Same thing goes with the ceiling. We need to make sure that there's no punctures into the ceiling because, again...
Height of stairs?
Well, if it was built with the property, then that should be sufficient. However, we do need to make sure that the original builder did the job correctly. The do-it-yourselfers are the ones you go pick up from, Lowe's or Home Depot. Those are the ones that we're going to probably have a problem with because it's already basically compromised the fire protection there. We'll check the garage door. We'll make sure that it auto-reverses on itself. We'll make sure that the sensors are in place to make sure that that's active. Ventilation should be accurate in there. And for the most part, I'd say 75 to 80% of the time we'll see the water heater in the garage as well. So we're also making sure that the water heater is safe, earthquake straps, you've got the pan in the bottom, the TPR drain line, things of that nature. So we'll look at it like I'm going to buy the property myself. I'm a very detailed inspector. We'll spend anywhere from 3 to 5 hours on a property, depending
Wow.
on the size of the property, and make sure that they have an absolute understanding of that property, because, again, this is a real big decision that they're going into, and it's my job to make sure that they're aware of every piece of information that we can find so they're able to make that right decision.
Excellent. Well, we've hit our first commercial break. We will be right back. Please listen to commercials because they're funnier than hell. Remember Aqua Plumbing. And we're back today with Delicious Artie White and Jed Semper from Redbeard Inspections. This is Plumbing 101 with Aqua Plumbing here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Call-in number 702-483-4444. And Lawrence was kind enough. He's the keyboard operator in here. You can't see him, nor can you hear him because we don't allow him to talk. So he handed me a note, and we're going to talk about what national day it is today. There's several. He's a plethora of information, worthless information. Thank you, Lawrence. You're a plethora of worthless information. I really appreciate it. Today is National C-Section Day, which I'm going to be not partaking in, but a part. What you're looking at me with the big old wide eyes? What are you looking at?
I'm amazed that someone has the time to sit around and think of it as National C-Section Day. I'm blown away by that. But
my goofy daughter-in-law is getting ready to pop, and this will be my fifth grandchild. Becky's in my fifth grandchild, and she'd be interested to know that today, which is, she's still like 3 months away, but today is National C-Section Day. So they actually have that.
Huh.
So it's like Donut Day. If you think about it,
I'm gonna
think
go
about it. Donut Day, C-Section Day.
I'm gonna go with it. We'll just leave it at C-Section Day.
And then today is also National Dress Up Your Pet Day. I dress my pet up every night. I've got a 126-pound Doberman. Becky calls it 126 pounds of dumb. And when I take my socks off at night, I drape them over his head, and he just looks at me. I have pictures in my phone. He looks like a Taliban. He looks like ISIS. It's the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life. And then he'll finally take those off after about an hour. He just walks around with socks on his head. It's funnier than hell. And then I'll take my blue shirt, and I'll drape it over his head, and once he gets it back a little bit further, he's this pathetic-looking, gigantic Doberman with this blue veil. So now he looks like the Taliban's wife.
Well, I got the dress your pet. My pet dresses me every day with cat hair. I mean, you sit down for 5 minutes, I get up, and I look like I'm a hairy white cat. So I'm glad it's on the opposite foot today.
Yeah, there you go. So it's National Dress Up Your Pet Day. I do that every day. And my son he would love to hear this. He might be listening in. He's in Chicago right now. It's National Hot Pastrami Day. He loves pastrami. So
there you go.
That's one out for you there, Nathan. And then my wife and I, we usually go to the sand dunes on New Year's. But because she's a shitty navigator and we crashed the dune buggy on Thanksgiving because she didn't see a thing in the sand, and she said she saw it, but she didn't tell me. Anyway, we wrecked the car. It was minor, but she got jumbled around pretty heavy, and now she's having to go to the chiropractor and get adjusted from time to time. And
oh man,
we couldn't go to the dunes. He suggested we didn't go to the dunes because she's a crappy navigator, and if she's listening, I'm a dead man tonight.
There's a good chance she's listening, Artie.
There's a good chance she's listening. I don't know. She's busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest right now. I know that. But we have spent that weekend and damn near every night and since then organizing our home. Now, we've lived in this house since late 01. It is amazing the shit that you accumulate. It is just stupid.
Yep.
She was dumping the house. I was dumping the garage. And I took 4 loads of crap that I just could not believe we were keeping. And I don't know what crap she threw away, but you can actually walk through our house now. It's just wonderful. So today is Organize Your Home Day. So I want you, Jed, to go home, and I want you to organize your goddamn house, okay?
All right. And all the inspectors out there appreciate you doing that, because it's easier to walk through a clean home than it is a trashed home.
Back to what we were talking about. When you walk into someone's house and they've got 4,500 boxes piled around the water heater, what's the first thing you think? I need to run like hell?
Well, good luck in me determining the condition of it, because inspectors don't move boxes. So
right.
If it's not clear and I can't get access to it, we're going to call it out that you should probably have Aqua Plumbing get out there and take a look once you can actually get to that water heater. So good point.
Everybody, they just think water heater. But what they don't think is, You stack a bunch of boxes around a water heater, and what you've in essence done is you've created a campfire in potential
Yep.
in your garage, because you typically, when you're going to start a fire in your fireplace, what do you use? Paper.
Yeah.
You stack boxes around a water heater that has an open flame. Is that the same thing?
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's spooky. I
Yeah.
see it a lot. I truly see it a lot.
And very combustible items very close to the water heaters, paints, stains,
Gasoline.
gasoline.
But I got to keep it right there so I can find it.
It's
You're going to find it
it's
all
the only
right.
place I remembered it to be.
Got to have that lawnmower running. Put the gas cans outside. Make sure they're positive seal gas cans. Put them outside. The rainwater won't get in them. Make sure they're in the shade. And don't put your gasoline in your garages. That's just common sense. Come on. Wake
So,
it up.
Organize your home, people.
Organize your home, people.
Since today's the day.
My home is phenomenal. It's great. It is fantastic. And then the last thing today is take a missionary to lunch day.
I was wondering when that was coming around again.
When I when I see missionaries come up to the house, I answer the door naked. It is the greatest thing.
Are they willing to stay and talk after that?
Can we come back? If you want. The scenery's not going to change. If you want to come back, come back. They don't come back.
That's an interesting. I'm gonna have to try that.
It's a lot of fun.
I don't know if I can pull it off as well as you, but we'll give it a shot.
It's a lot of fun. It really is. I really enjoy it. So that's January 14th, 2016. I would imagine it's the same day next year. 2017 is going to be National Dress Up Your Pet Day. That's the best part. I was telling Jed at the commercial break that there's actually 2 National Donut Days. My wife was thrilled.
Why do they need to?
I asked that same question, and you know what her response was?
She didn't care.
Who cares?
As
So,
long as there's 2.
if I'm not mistaken, it was National Donut Day and Cook Your Wife Dinner Day.
Oh.
So I cooked her donuts. Everybody won. Everybody was a winner. Truly was a winner. So since we're on the subject and you're on Plumbing 101 with Aqua Plumbing, we're not really talking about roofs and porte-cocheres and porches and things like that. I'm gonna kind of steal the show a little bit, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about plumbing. So you go into a garage, you identify there's a water heater, possibly a water softener. What do you look for there?
Water softener would be an ancillary product, so it's actually excluded from a typical home inspection.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, my
Okay.
recommendation would be to get a licensed plumber out there to evaluate it and then give them their options, whether there's issues that arise or whether it's in good working condition. So good comment on that. Sprinkling systems as well. Those are considered ancillary from a home inspection. So again, we're going to
home sprinkler system,
Yeah.
fire protection.
landscape sprinklers.
Landscape sprinklers, okay.
And also the fire prevention sprinklers if you have those. So again, everything's called out to a licensed plumber, especially in the instance where it's not part of a typical inspection, and that's where you're going to need to get more information from those licensed individuals.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because in the city of Henderson, if you build a doghouse, it gets sprinklers.
You get sprinklers in the doghouse.
It gets sprinklers in the doghouse. If you build a structure in Henderson, you're putting fire sprinklers in that structure. It is. I do a lot of, and Jed knows this. I'm just reminding my viewers because I know how my viewers are. My listeners.
They're viewing us too.
They're viewing us too. We do a lot of burn repairs for various general contractors around town, a tremendous number of them. And when we redo a significant burn repair, we're doing one out in the outskirts of Henderson right now. It was a significant burn. There was only like 4 walls left of this whole house. When I drove by it after the fire, a couple weeks after the fire, the air conditioner was sitting in the living room. I mean, the roof caved in, and again, there was really only a couple of walls left. So in reality, this house had to be completely rebuilt. 99.2% of the house had to be rebuilt. And one of the big holdups in the city plans check office was the sprinkler system, and we had to dig up the front yard, and we had to put an 1.5-inch water service pipe from the meter out up to the home. And the fire sprinkler, and I'm not licensed, Aqua Plumbing's not licensed for fire sprinklers, but there's a number of fire sprinkler companies in town that will do residential fire sprinklers, and we had to upsize the water service. So for those of you living in Henderson, Nevada, please call your agent and ask them if you have code upgrade coverage. Make sure that it's sufficient, because We had to take out a panel of the sidewalk and everything. All totaled, it was probably about $4,500 to $5,000 just to change the water piping in the front yard between the landscaping repair, the plumbing, the trenching, the backfilling, the panel that had to come out of the sidewalk, popping into the side of the building, and then the fire sprinkler guys and the plumbing contractor both share the fresh water coming into the building. So in Henderson, you're going to see a lot of fire sprinklers in homes in the future.
Interesting.
This one house in this whole community is the only one that has fire sprinklers, and it was costly. Well, you've lost everything.
Yeah.
You've got a deductible to handle now. You still have to make a mortgage payment, whether you're living in the house or not.
Yep. Insurance
companies only pay for a certain number of days for you to be away from the home, and there's all these things you've got to be concerned with as far as finances is concerned. And then the general contractor comes to you and says, by the way, you've got to have fire sprinklers added to your house. If you don't have a code upgrade policy that's sufficient enough to fund that, you fund it out of pocket.
Wow.
And it, like I said, just the front yard was almost $5,000. Now that wasn't payable to Aqua Plumbing, but that was all the, I'm going to use your word, that was all the ancillary things that are involved in changing
Sure.
a water service piping in a front yard.
Sure.
Landscaping, the excavation, everything. So fire sprinklers are going to be a thing of the future. They're not going to go away. And so do you look at the fire sprinkler protection system in a home?
If it's there, we'll look at it. But again, it's again an ancillary. So a typical home's not going to have that. Obviously, minus the Henderson building code or whatever they're referencing there. Interesting fact: I'm a member of SNAPI. That's the Southern Nevada Association of Professional Property Inspectors, and we actually had the
SNAPI.
The Clark County Fire Inspector at our last meeting a couple weeks ago. And so, ironically enough, talking about all the things that we needed to pay attention to, both in residential as well as the commercial buildings. So, there's some things that we can look at, the piping.
And if you
running
see a
to-
leak, you're simply going to note it and say, contact a licensed fire protection.
specialist. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, fire specialist to be able to get out there and take a look. So there are a couple of things that, as an inspector, we can identify, but for the most part, again, we'll identify that should be looked at or evaluated by somebody that knows what they're doing with that, as far as that's all they're dealing with day in and day out.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to go to our second commercial break, and then we're going to talk about what I was talking about earlier, gas piping. Please listen to the commercials because they are funny as hell. And we're back. We are back. Aqua Plumbing. Plumbing 101 with Aqua Plumbing. I always get stumped up on that. It's plumbing. Who cares?
Get the word plumbing
If it's
in
brown,
there
it's
and you're
going.
safe.
If it's brown, it's going down.
I've heard that somewhere before.
All right. Our phone number to call in here and ask Jed a question or two, 483-4444, area code 702-483-4444. So we were talking about fixtures in the garage when Jed comes out to perform inspections. I told him I'm going to hog the show with plumbing-related inspections that he were to be looking for. We promised you we were going to talk about gas piping. So earlier you heard me talking about gas piping, who's responsible for what and where. Again, the plumbing contractor is responsible for the stub out exiting the side of the house, going to the meter, Southwest Gas. It's their meter. It's their piping leading up to the meter from the sidewalk. That's not the plumbing contractor. If you smell gas, call 911. Don't call 311. Don't call your aunt. Don't call your uncle. Call 911. Then call a neighbor that you believe or know is mechanically inclined to a degree. They can actually come over and turn off the meter themselves. Or if you're mechanically inclined and you have a little knowledge as to how a gas meter works or the shut-off valve there too, shut the gas off yourself. You're not going to hurt anything. Shut the damn gas off, and then 911 will dispatch Southwest Gas for you. They will shoot straight out there, quick like a bunny, and identify what the problem is. Then you're going to have to contact a plumbing contractor. They are going to come out. They'll identify the problem. They will pull a permit through whatever municipality you lived in, have a permit on the job, fix the repair, put the system under test, and Southwest Gas, after the inspection passes, not just called, but is passed, they will rehook up your gas. They will have a quick looky-loo at all of your appliances at that time again, so that the gas system is very safe. So with all that said, And people have a better understanding now of who's responsible for what gas piping. Because if they smell gas in their house, they automatically think, oh, Southwest Gas. Do not call Southwest Gas. Call 911. It's faster.
Yeah.
Or if you have two phones, call 911 and Southwest Gas. Who knows the number to Southwest Gas off the top of their head? They do not.
Not I.
Who knows 911 off the top of their head?
I remember that number.
I remember that number. Make the phone call.
There you go.
If you have two phones, you can be Googling Southwest Gas. You can whatever the hell you want to do to get their phone number. But 911 is the way to go. Call 911. You smell gas. It's just a good idea. So
Good
when you walk onto a property and you're going to be looking at the gas system, which there's many appliances. There's the water heater, dryer, range, fireplace. Most people have gas to their fireplace.
That's correct.
Barbecues in the backyard, things of that nature. Air conditioners on the roof, air conditioners in the attic. I would imagine the attic work takes you quite some time.
It does. Unfortunately, I'm a little guy, so I can get everywhere into the attic. So
That's good.
The bigger guys have a little bit of trouble. But yeah, the gas lines are important, and each of the different appliances that you mentioned, we're looking for shutoff valves that are in the near area. Last thing we want to see is a stove, as an example, that doesn't have a shutoff valve within 6 feet of that area. The air conditioners on the roof, we had one about a month ago where the owner swore everything was in good condition, and as soon as you get near that air conditioner, I'm immediately smelling that odor. So
Was it on the roof?
It was. Yeah.
So the gas was being safely removed from the structure, but it's still a problem.
It is. It needs to be looked at again by that professional, and my job is to identify that the potential issues are there, not to correct them. So we need to get it identified as quickly as we can, and then get somebody out there that can finish that up.
What if there's a gas leak? Because we have split systems now. The important stuff is in the attic of these newer homes.
Yep.
They're not on rooftops anymore. What's the potential for a gas leak in or near one of those units and encased in the attic?
It happens. We've run across it several times, actually.
Have you?
Yeah. More than anything, it's just a matter of a lot of times once the professional got out there and identified it, it was a couple of small leaks that were in the line, or the supply line typically is what we regularly run across. But I'd say the majority of the time that we do run into an odor issue, it is on the outside of the home, but it's not as uncommon as you would think on the inside, especially up in the attics too.
I would think it was very uncommon.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's some spooky, because there is a draft through the attics. They're designed that way, but it's not near as good as being on the rooftop.
Correct.
And I had no idea you were experiencing, and we've known each other for a while. I had no idea you were experiencing natural gas odor in attics that are reasonably confined.
Yeah, you'll run into it. Yeah. So again, you smell it, we're getting out of there. I don't need to be in the attic for 15 minutes if I smell it.
Don't need to be here.
I'm certainly not going to run the heater.
And looking at you don't need a haircut. So
no. We've had gas fireballs to the face where we almost lost the red beard. So
Wow.
those are some issues that we need to be careful with too. So it's a combination of making sure that it's safe, but also making sure that the client's aware of the potential dangers that are out there for them, because it's not as simple as getting the keys to your home and going in there. There's a lot of things that you need to be aware of.
have you ever gone up in the attic and come down and told the homeowner, you need to turn your gas off now and call Southwest Gas?
I haven't had anything that's been that serious. Like I said, more than anything, we would identify a couple of pinhole leaks and things like that. But I'd say in 100 inspections that we did, we probably found it in maybe 5 or 6. So it's not.
So that's 5%. That's a lot.
Higher maybe than some people think, but again,
Higher than I thought.
It depends on the properties. Most of those properties were older properties. So, we get into a home that's built in the 60s or the 70s. Those are going to have a little bit more issues than the homes that were built, 2000 or newer. So, each of the instances that I can think of were, probably at least 30 to 40 years old. So it was more of an issue of, probably the age of the property as well as the wear and the tear on the system itself.
Gotcha. Well, that's good to know. I had no idea. Wow. My units are on the roof, so I feel pretty confident about that. But Becky and I have a couple of rental properties, and one in particular is a split system. So maybe we're going to have maybe next time I go over there and collect the rent, I'm going to poke my head in the attic. I mean, it's foolish not to. It takes 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly evident where those gas lines are. Get anywhere near to that system, and you should be able to find it. We keep a spray bottle close in case we can identify anything that could be a leak, but it's not my job to identify.
Spray bottles to put the fire out?
Yeah. That's all you need in
the
attic.
Knowing what I know now, I was always told if you don't learn something every day, then you wasted your day. I learned something today. I learned that those of you who do not have an air conditioner on your roof and you do live in the Las Vegas Valley, chances are your air conditioner is in the attic. And when I say air conditioner, that is also responsible for the heat. It's not a bad idea every time the time changes, and I'm going to add this to my list of things that I tell people they should do at the time when the time changes. One of the things I tell them to do is change your fire alarm batteries, okay? You should do that you should have a list of things when the time changes. That's a very iconic part of your life, is the time change. And I tell them to clean their dryer vent. That's a fire potential.
Yep.
Especially if it's vertical through the roof, through the walls, and it exits on the roof like our house does. When the time changes, you should pull your appliances out. You should vacuum everything, refrigerators, freezers, whatever the case may be, appliance-wise, microwave ovens, they have fans. All that needs to be taken care of. Batteries in your carbon monoxide detectors, your smoke detectors, and you should go around and you should run all of your plumbing on that day, all at the same time. Get a flashlight, look for leaks under all of your cabinets, make sure everything's working like it's supposed to. Make sure that the water's not orange, because that could be water heater coming to a failure situation. Yep. Snowball formations on the shutoff valves under the cabinets and things of that nature. And one of the things I think now is I know I'm going to tell people to get a ladder, a safe ladder, a good ladder. Put it under your one or two attic accesses in your home, however many you have, and stick your face up. Lift that lid and stick your face up in there. And if you smell natural gas, contact a plumbing contractor first. This is not a 911 thing. And we'll come out and call Aqua Plumbing at 642-8400. It's a selfless plug. We'll come out and we'll make the inspection that we need to make. And if we find out it's the actual air conditioner, we've got some air conditioning companies on our books that we trust and have seen and been around for a long, long time, and they're friends of ours. And I really appreciate you bringing that to our attention. I had no idea, and that's why I bring guests on the shows, because they're very smart people, and I learned something today. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you saying that, because I didn't know I taught anybody anything.
So when you're done with the gas system and then you move on to the water system in the house, what typically do you look for?
So we're looking for differences in the flow rate. We're going to run the sinks that flush the toilets, have the showers on to see if we're dropping in the pressure. We're checking the water pressure on both spigots if they're available, the front and the back spigot. I can't tell you how many times listing agents told me that they had the house inspected and there's nothing wrong with it, and I start running the tub, and 3 minutes into the tub the water's brown or green or whatever, and I said, well, did they actually run the water? Did they just walk into the bathroom and say everything looks good? So we'll fill the tubs completely full.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which will allow us to check the drain lines, both the side drain as well as the main drain. Sinks will be filled up as much as they can. Redbeard inspections, we're as thorough as we can. I can't tell you that every inspector is going to do that, but if you have an inspection done by Redbeard, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Well, today's show is all about Redbeard.
Well,
what's your phone number?
702-817-3136. And
that's a screwed up phone number.
Well, you can always find me at Inspects.
That's a hard number to remember. Why couldn't you get
Vegas.
what was the number?
817-3136.
You could have got 817-7777.
I guess I didn't think about it when I was asking, so my fault for doing that.
So take your suffix right now, go home, go out in your car, do whatever you got to do, and find a word associated with your suffix.
Okay.
That's going to help.
That'll be my chore for the day.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, it's Inspects with an S, LasVegas.com.
INSPECTS.
Las Vegas spelled out.com.
Fantastic. And that's really how people are going to be finding you. These millennials, they don't know how to use a telephone other than text or a dial pad. Are you kidding? Here's what I want to see. Next Christmas, I want to see cell phones come out with a rotary dial. I do. I really do.
Half of the millennials will look at it and not know what they're doing.
They won't.
What is this?
Yeah, they'll be. What the hell is this? So, let's go ahead and have you say the website again.
Website's www.inspects, INSPECTS, Las Vegas. Everybody should know how to spell Las Vegas.
Right.
.com.
Lost wages.
InspectLasVegas.com.
Fantastic. That is really, really good information to know. all of the radio commercials, if you've been listening, don't even convey our phone number because nobody remembers phone numbers. It's something with the human brain, and 7, now 10 numbers. It just doesn't happen. But they remember Aqua Plumbing. You can pull up Aqua Plumbing. It's all you've got to type in, and it'll come up. Another exercise that you probably want to perform is just next time you're near a computer, pull up the word inspects,
Okay.
and see if it comes up. Well, who knows?
Yeah, we're working on the marketing part of it. So
What about?
competition out there.
I wonder what would come up if you typed in Redbeard.
Redbeard will pop up. You'll get
Will
me
it?
there. Yeah, and
So
that's the easiest way to remember
That's
me.
what we
and-
want our listeners to know.
Yeah, type in Redbeard, you'll find me. If you don't remember Redbeard, you'll remember it when I show up. Look at the Redbeard.
Right, Redbeard, no hair, Redbeard.
No hair, Redbeard. That's
So
right.
that's really part of the branding issues in the 2000s. Now that we've entered 2016, is the phone number's useless. It's totally useless
Unless they know it unless they know it or can get access to it.
unless they remember it.
Yeah,
Right.
But you're right. More people are going to remember a name or a branding option as opposed to a phone number. So
They're sitting at a red light, violating the law, cell phone in their lap, guilty. And they're going to type in Redbeard.
type in Redbeard.
And then they're going to hit the telephone number link. That's what's going to happen.
That's right.
And you're going to get some phone calls. So please, everybody, remember Redbeard Inspections, and the website is inspects@lasvegas.com. And we're going to continue with our show here in a couple of minutes and talk a little bit more with Jed about the plumbing inspections that he performs. Please listen to the commercials because they are really funny. All right, and we are back for the fourth and final segment. I feel like my Mickey Mouse ears are on backwards. Hang on. They are. Oh, they got to be on right because I love to hear myself.
I didn't know
I
there
sing.
was a front or a back. I guess it's on
I
front.
well, if you see your head's contoured and how they're crooked,
Yeah.
I
Got
have,
it.
I have a crooked head.
Got it.
We are back, and we're here with Jed from Redbeard Inspections. Remember to Google Redbeard, and then is your picture on there?
No, I've got a face for
good.
radio.
That's
so,
a really good thing.
I'm in a perfect place right now.
Our Facebook, LinkedIn, our blah blah blah, whatever the hell, all this crap. It is a picture of my wife and I standing in front of her 1929 Model A. It's a really cool picture.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out
Plus,
when I get back.
she's hot and I'm not, and I don't care.
That's why you got her,
And
right?
she's a lot younger. Yeah, we're going on a date tonight.
Where are you going?
We're going to Mirage. I don't know what she has for Christmas. I put a piece of paper in a gigantic box, like a washing machine box, and I
Yeah.
taped it to the bottom. And I paid my daughter wrap this empty box. It was really funny. Christmas Day, she's got this big gigantic box, and it was a date night for tonight with a stayover at the Mirage. Our daughter Alexis works at the Mirage, and she was kind enough to put our room on her credit card.
All right. Way to go, Alexis.
Yep. I spent a little under $500,000 educating her, and I'm into her.
You get a hotel room.
I'm into her for $93 tonight. Yeah. So, I figured.
It sounds like a good swap to me.
Do you hear my phone?
I did.
That's a text. Do you know who that is?
Becky.
That's Alexis.
Oh, Alexis. All right.
Guarantee it. And no, I'm not looking.
I'm glad she's listening.
I'm gonna look at 4 minutes to the hour. We'll be out of here.
All right.
We're gonna be out of here like scalded dogs. So you go in the garage. You look at everything in the garage. Plumbing wise, that's what we talked about. And then you start to inspect the gas system, and because usually the gas stub out is on the side of the garage. Not always, but for those of you who are interested or curious and you own a home or are renting a home and you're interested in safety, go out and look and see where your gas meter is. It's a good thing to know.
Absolutely.
You and I met at a networking function, and there was a gentleman that used to be in there, and he actually had a gas meter on the garage side of his house, and he poured a driveway and everything, and then lo and behold, he pulled the gas meter out of there with his boat trailer. It was the funniest thing I ever
Oh
saw in
my
my life,
gosh.
but it was dangerous.
Oh, my God.
I laughed. He didn't laugh.
I wouldn't think so.
We had to go fix our part. The Southwest Gas people had to come out and fix their part. It cost him a meter. Oh, it was a bad day, but it was funnier than hell. It really was funny, but
Wow.
those were the days. And the gas meter is really important. Please know where your gas meter's at and know how to turn it off, or have a neighbor come turn it off. If you smell gas, it's really important. There are actually 2 shutoff valves at the gas meter, and you can turn either one or both off. It doesn't make any difference. When Southwest Gas returns, they will turn them both back on. You can't get in trouble because you were acting in the eyes of safety.
Correct.
So you're all done with the gas piping system. The water piping system, you run all the faucets, make sure there's adequate pressure and volume.
Correct.
Because pressure's one thing, volume's another.
Correct.
You can have all the pressure in the world and still take an hour and a half fill a bathtub because
right.
there's no volume.
That's right. And then mana blocks are starting to be more familiar too as well, and I'm sure you can give us some more information on those. I think you actually gave me some advice about every 10 to 15 years is the average
Need to
lifespan.
change the mana block. And the new mana blocks, I just had a conversation with a lady yesterday. She's multi-family complex, and her words to me were, I know they're phasing out and they're obsolete. That's not the case. Mana blocks are being produced every day. They're a really good product. Today's product is an extremely large improvement over yesterday's mana blocks. Different polymers are put into them. Technology's better. The rubber, the O-rings and things in these mana blocks are a lot better. They're a good 10-year item because plumbing systems are maintenanceable items. It's like changing the belt under the hood of your car. You need to change your mana block every 10 years, 10, 12, whatever. It's just a good idea. You can't see how they work. Therefore, put a new one in. It's not terribly expensive. It's done. It's the heart of your water system. Mm-hmm. So when a mana block is 10 years old or more, it needs to be replaced, and the new ones they're a lot better product. It's like anything else. Technology and history causes companies to build a better product, and the mana block company has done that.
Great. Toilets are another one, and we've got some good information from your previous shows. Listening, check to make sure the seal's tight, make sure we don't have any loose toilets.
The bolts down hold the tank onto the bowl. Make sure they're not a blob of orange. Make sure you can still identify the fact that they're a screw.
There you go.
Because if you can't identify the fact that they're a screw anymore, then it's ready to fail. The head's going to pop off.
Yeah.
You look at that.
Yeah, angle stops. We're checking, with the water in the valley. Those are going to get, pretty corroded. A lot of hard water buildup on those. So I'm pretty specific in identifying those. We'll provide a booklet to them, which actually
that's cool.
Which actually goes over the things that they need to pay attention to now that they've had a home inspection. So all the plumbing items. These are the things that they need to do on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, whatever the issue is. So we really try to educate the potential buyer or even the seller. As you mentioned, sellers should have home inspections as well, and just again make sure that they have a solid understanding, and if they have questions in the future, make sure to give us a call. We want to make sure that everybody's clear on everything that we've identified.
Very good. So you fill all the you fill all the tubs up, you said. You fill all the sinks and everything, and then you turn the water loose, and you identify in your report that there's a potential slow drain.
Yeah, we'll go underneath the drains, run a thermal camera underneath it to make sure, see if we can pick up any leaks in the walls that wouldn't be visible with the eyes. So we use that technology as well. So really just, again, I'm putting myself in the position that that's my home or that's my commercial property, and I need to know everything that's going on with that. So a lot of times, we want to time how quick the water's getting down the drain, and if we see that it's taking a long time, then obviously we're going to call out that there may be some clogged drain lines, or maybe even something worse, and need to get a licensed plumber out there at that point.
That is excellent, and obviously then you wander into the kitchen and you run the disposer in the dishwasher.
We do. We'll test the water temperature at the kitchen sink. We'll test the water temperature furthest away from the water heater as well to make sure that it's pushing the heat through the entire system. The disposals are something that we run across pretty often that probably need to be updated or changed as well, just depending.
A garbage disposer is about another 10-year item. The garbage disposer manufacturers do their very best to put a galvanized coating or a corrosion-resistant coating in the hopper, if you will. But the minute you get a bottle cap in there and turn it on, you've scratched that coating.
Yeah.
And now damage is occurring every time you use it.
That's right. And then always the ones that think they're tricky, they'll put the little laminate down underneath the kitchen cabinet.
Right.
And I'm going to pull that up and I'm going to see what you're covering because you're hiding something from us. So
right.
What's going on down there?
Very good. Well, do not hesitate in calling Redbeard Inspections. Just Google Redbeard or Redbeard Inspections and hit the telephone link, and this fine young gentleman will pick up the phone and you will Shazam have a plumbing inspection. And please remember, Aqua Plumbing here in Las Vegas, 702-642-8400. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on Thursday at 2 o'clock. Bye for now.